Great googly moogly. It's a Tune In Tuesday. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, podcast, Heat Wrestling, and I am of Studio One Sports, whatever. But I'm here with Mr. Robert Karplus, WD Creative _ish. We got some things to talk about. Someone was unmasked last night, Robert. Somebody was.
Yes, somebody was unmasked. It was as shocking as it was that Dom, A, screwed up the intro, B, his microphone sounds tremendously bad, and C, I hear my own echo from his side.
What the
So,
heck
best
is
producer
going on?
in wrestling podcast history. We'll say hi to the fine folks joining us here today. Willie Thornbrew says, it was nice of Jey Uso to pay homage to John Cena by calling out spots loud enough for everyone to hear. He'd sobered up by then, so he was doing fine. Tony Gong said Gunther should have come out next week with his own John Cena action figure with a tap out feature, lever on the back to make it tap out again and again. If there's a way for TKO to monetize that, they absolutely will. Wrestling Old Head says, good day, R&I. Raw was an episode of surprises that left me saying, oh. And Wrestling, as Cammy Star says, best intro in the podcast world.
Nailed every time.
No.
Every damn time.
Dre Owens lastly says, hello, R&I. Gunther is a savage after last night. There was only one takeaway I had during all of that Gunther stuff, and it was, will his car start? Because there was a lot of frost built up on that thing. And I was like, it's been a long time since I had lived in Connecticut and dealt with snow. But that looked like a situation where you probably would have wanted to have pre-warmed up that car.
Absolutely. Like, I was more concerned with AJ Styles. He was just out there in a T-shirt hanging out. What was going on there?
Because he's phenomenal. He has phenomenal body control.
I guess so. Good circulation. Phenomenal circulation.
And we're going to talk about would we say phenomenal episode of Raw? Because I would not.
I would not either, Robert. I would not whatsoever. I was seeing a lot. I watched Raw this morning, so I was seeing a lot of the feedback online yet last night, and people were saying, oh man, what an effective Gunther promo. Like, this is why you had John Cena tap out. I kind of get it to an extent, but not really.
So, first of all, what I found the most frustrating, and we are approaching on January 5th, it'll have been 1 year since the Netflix deal.
Mm-hmm.
The foot is so far off the gas for Monday Night Raw that it is becoming increasingly challenging to watch this show live. In the first hour, 2.5 things happened. Yeah. Gunther came out. I get letting the heat build and build and build. The entire segment was almost 22 minutes. And then there was only one match, which was the Usos versus the New Day. And that was the entire first hour of Monday Night Raw. And I'm not saying that it needs to be peek behind the curtain. The reason Dom did not watch Raw live last night was Dom was having a little party with Rob Van Dam, Vince Russo, and Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse.
It was a good
Was I invited? No. Were any of you invited? Did he promote it? No. Dom's got side hustles. You not on here. Because I absolutely would have shown up to be like, man, what you guys are doing in Juggalo Championship Wrestling is, I haven't seen it.
Well, look, it's...
But there was a point that I was getting to, and then you can go back to kowtowing to your boy Vince Russo. When Vince Russo and Vince McMahon were given, an hour of Raw, boy, they packed a lot into it. They maximized their minutes. I don't think last night's Raw maximized all of its minutes. I think Gunther went out there to soak up the booze, in part because I think there was nervousness on WWE's end as to whether the heat would rest on Gunther or it was still going to be residing on Hunter and the booking committee for the decisions that they made. Gunther came out. He said his one thing, that John Cena tapped like a bitch, and then he walked in the back, wallowing in his own crapulence, like Mr. Burns, where I thought for sure someone's either going to shoot him or his Vince McMahon style limo is going to explode.
Man, what a perfect analogy that is. Yeah, but Robert.
Oh, I'm not done yet, Tom. Before you did, because here's the question I'm going to ask you. There's a question I was going to ask you.
All right.
Gunther won a tournament, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes, he did.
Did he defeat all of his opponents going into this John Cena match?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Did he beat John Cena clean?
Correct. Yes, he did. Absolutely.
Why did he get thrown out of the building?
Because he gloated.
Yet Bronson Reed murdered LA Knight last week. And they showed him while wandering in there like the giant ass armadillo he is. No ramifications, no repercussions, no nothing. But Gunther had the temerity to win a wrestling match, and the general manager of Raw, the guy who represents the brand that Gunther is on, that theoretically won the tournament and brought honor and prestige to Raw, threw Gunther out for going out there and stating correctly, John Cena tapped like a little bitch.
That's what happened. What do you expect somebody like that to say? From a storyline standpoint, knowing who Gunther is, you think he's going to be like, great match, John Cena. And that was fun.
It was just one of those things where when you take a step back logically and say, what was the point of this? You had 2 days to build to Gunther going out there. If it was Gunther savoring the booze, which felt a lot like when Roman beat The Undertaker at Mania, and he just stood in the ring and just soaked in the booze, and then just after like 5 minutes just said like, it's my house now, and left.
Right.
Great. This felt a little weird.
It did, and it did not feel like a good follow-up, ultimately. Like, you're positioning Gunther to be this monster heel. Well, cool, but it just felt like stretched out too much. And then on top of it too, I don't think it necessarily hit home. I mean, you got the crowd reaction, but you're going to get that. I think WWE needed to really dot their I's and cross their T's, and they didn't do it with this.
It was to get that moment of everybody hates Gunther, and AJ Styles is the guy who's going to stand up for John Cena's legacy, and he's going to face Gunther. And we know that AJ is the next guy on the docket for retirement. So I guess that's where we're going with this.
I guess. Robert, does this reiterate all the more of your pitch that you made yesterday when it come to like Triple H taking the heat, making the heel turn, and turning that into something?
I would have liked a direction. I would have liked something. I would have liked it to have been, Hunter going out there and congratulating Gunther on his win, on establishing this notion, not only that pro wrestling beats sports entertainment, but Triple H said again yesterday, it is the start of a new era.
Yeah.
And the very first match of this brand new era was the New Day versus the Usos, who they mentioned on commentary have wrestled on TV 44 times.
Oh, my God.
What a brand new era we are in.
Yeah. I mean, you've set it up, meaning WWE, you set it up like, hey, this is the end of sports entertainment and the start of professional wrestling. Why not have Triple H come out there and say something like, yes, John Cena is gone and my era begins now. So does Gunther's. We're going to show you what it's really like. And then you have something pretty hot going into WrestleMania season that maybe need a little bit of a boost. And I don't think you're taking away from Gunther being a monster heel if you put Triple H in a big spotlight. I think you can kind of help move it along for Gunther a little bit.
I think that the easiest thing could have been, yes, Hunter coming out, congratulating Gunther, and then announcing January 5th, Monday Night Raw, it is CM Punk versus Braun Breaker on the 1-year anniversary episode of Netflix. The winner of that will face this man at the Royal Rumble.
There you go.
Boom. Now I've set another path. It did feel like all of this was on autopilot. We got to get to January 5th, and we just need to give you stuff on TV until that happens. Usos and New Day very much felt like that. I did not understand. I feel like Scott Chaplin at this point, how much I disliked all this. Jey Uso's theme song, which I pointed out on Raw last night, is It's Just Me, Us. Because it's all about how he is no longer in a tag team. He is no longer in the bloodline. He is a solo single star. Fear not, nobody's paying attention.
Nobody was paying attention. Yeah. Again, it just, I think you said it right. The treading water kind of aspect of it all. New Day loses again. Their heel turn is just meaningless, feels pointless. They feel low card, and not
What
a
did you
fan
think
of
of the
that.
match?
Thought the match was fine. It did kind of reinvigorate, like, oh man, the Usos against New Day was really good, like in a grand scheme of it all, if you think about their history. But the finish, I'm not a fan of, like, and I just don't. It just felt like, yeah, part of the course here, part of the course coming there after what should be a memorable Raw, after what was a big Saturday night's main event. Like, um, Robert, we also had, what was up next here? I have the results in front
There was a Vision backstage segment.
of me.
There
With
was
mhm.
the narrative was Braun Breaker's like, hey, we took that LA Knight tonight. Let's take out CM Punk. And Paul's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. In 21 days, you get a world title match. Like, relax. And what's the deal with this masked man? No one knows who he is, but as long as he's helping us, maybe we don't say anything. But we don't know who he is. We have no idea who he is. And then we got Io Sky and Rhea Ripley coming on out to start hour 2 of Monday Night Raw.
Yes, and they get in a scuffle with the Kabuki Warriors. Later on, it gets booked for next week at Rhea Ripley will be taking on Asuka, right? And so we have that lined up. And then after that, we had Maxine Dupree.
Oh no, so Rhea got misted.
Missed it.
And
Yes.
then Io made the try, took the bullet for the wounded Rhea to set up that they're going to be a women tag title match on January 5th. Sorry. So January 5th Raw, super important. In case you didn't already know.
Yes, you got to keep that in mind, everybody, as we move into the year, as we coast through the rest of the year here. We had Maxine Dupree take on Ivy Nile, Intercontinental Championship match. Fun showcase of Maxine. They give her the definitive win against Ivy Nile. It's been hyped up for a couple weeks, but I think they probably maybe could have done a little bit more to create more engagement for this. But I like the match. I thought Maxine did a good job in this showing.
Surprisingly compelling. They definitely had some chemistry in there, which was nice to see. This is totally fine. I think it's a strange match simply because we're coming off of Saturday night's main event where it was about, can the NXT stars hang with the people on the main roster, and the Maxine Dupree story has been, can the main roster star hang with other members of the main roster even though she already has a title. And they pointed out that she's been the Intercontinental Champion for 28 days.
Yes.
And has she even had a defense?
I think this is her first one. Aside, she didn't get a rematch with? No, she didn't do a rematch with Becky.
Didn't do a rematch with Becky. Right. This may have been her first match.
This was her first match, I think.
It went totally fine. People in the comment section, Wrestling Ohead pointing out that Ivy looks like buff Kristen Chenoweth, and that Maxine looks like Christy Swanson as Buffy.
Oh my! Wow, that's a good. Yeah, I could see that. I could see both those. You did mention the NXT stars. They did do a little showcase package for all of them that were on Saturday night's main event. Obafemi, Sol Ruka, and I believe Javon Evans too as well. I like that, Robert. I like that they kind of gave you the little reminder that, hey, don't forget about these people that were just on.
Yeah, look, it was nice to see El Grande Americano and Los Grande Americanos back on TV. I certainly missed all of them. And yeah, Javon and whoever that masked man is.
Just don't know.
Be fun to see them go at it. Then we got a CM Punk promo.
I like this promo. I thought it was great. What a great response for Braun. It's slowly building up to be like a really good feud. I think I'm looking forward to see how they kind of react the next week coming up here. But yeah, I liked what Punk had to say a lot. It's had some very fun and kind of edgy CM Punkish things to say about the Steiner brothers, Steiner math. So I really like this one, Robert.
So the only thing about calling out the Steiners and the Steiner math thing is there's no payoff for that.
Mm-hmm.
And fans do like the Steiners.
I think it's fine though. I do.
It's fine. It's just it's kind of like, I'm going to make fun of Rick and Scott Steiner. It's like, all right, but you can making fun of Braun Breaker makes sense. Getting pissed that they invoked his wife's name makes sense. Pointing out that Paul Heyman keeps finding the next whatever thing, and he's like, I'll knock him down like I have the others in the past, and if I had a dime for every time I did it, I would have all these done. It's fine. It's the idea of we want the old CM Punk it's like the third or fourth time I think we've invoked bringing back the old CM Punk. Um, it was okay. It's good. I feel like they're kind of saving the good stuff if we wind up doing Braun Breaker and CM Punk in some full throated fashion at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Punk kind of hinted at some of that stuff too. Like you may have the balls to be able to do this, but you don't have the heart. So I could see them definitely like punting basically on January 5th in some form or fashion with having some interference or whatever, and then playing the long game with this feud, which I'm kind of okay with. I think you can make it certainly fun and man, but this kind of did remind me too, just like once Punk is kind of done with the in-ring career, he's got to take over that Dusty role of doing promo classes, I think, for the talent there.
Oh, absolutely. I think that it's so strange that it's going to ultimately be Sean or Punk running NXT.
Right.
And it's look, it's not a it's a pretty thankless role in some instances. Number one, you have to live in Orlando,
Yep.
which I know has been a reason why some folks I've spoken to have chosen not to go work as trainers or coaches at the performance center. Like it's an adjustment in life. You have to move to Central Florida. Um, the second is it's a little frustrating. There's guys at different levels and they're going to listen at different different speeds. There are folks that I worked with who are some of the best wrestlers of all time who could not coach.
Oh yeah.
Ricky Steamboat comes to mind as someone who we had him as an agent. It was one of those things where it's like, I just can't tell you how I'm able to do what it is that I'm able to do.
Well, Michael Jordan's known for that. He was great.
Jordan's
Obviously,
kind of a dick.
Well, yeah, but he's one of the goat. He is the goat, in my opinion, for basketball. But he wasn't able to convey that to younger talent in certain ways.
Wrestling All Head, yeah, kind of agrees. I'm not sure what it is, but something is missing from Punk's promos. Maybe it's just me, but it feels like he's holding back some. I think part of it also is the Punk that we used to see was the underdog guy who I shouldn't be the main event guy in WWE, but I am because of you and not because of what Vince wants and not because of what Hunter wants and not because what WWE management wants. And I don't look like John Cena and I don't go do the Make-A-Wishes, but I do this because I'm the indie guy and I'm the skinny fat ass and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove everybody wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was in AEW, it was, I never thought I was coming back to wrestling and here I am. And I want to do what's best for the business. And then that flamed out. Now he's back here and it's very much, I'm a very wealthy man. I am very much the establishment, but I'm still trying to pretend that I'm, the edgy underdog. And it's a little bit like, even Shawn Michaels stopped being like, I'm the sexy boy when he came back and one eye was looking there and one eye was looking there.
Well, I think too the aspect is he's part of the system, and he's also probably comfortable with a lot of the people that he works with too. Back if you think when he had the edge of it all and everything, he was pushing back against the grain in a lot of ways, and so there's that little kind of disconnect of something tangible that Punk can really latch on to. I think he's finding some fun things to kind of go after, like the Steiner brothers and stuff like that when it comes to these promos, but there's nothing that he really has an axe to grind in certain ways too. So I don't think it necessarily translates as or resonates as much as it did in the past than it does now, but I still think it's good stuff. Robert, up next we had, what was it?
Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez.
Yes. Did you like this match, Robert? Besides the finish.
I was going to say, you're asking me in a situation where Nikki Bella is now still with. I assume last week they just killed Nikki Bella off. I was like, okay,
yeah, that's what I thought.
This just felt like a match. It was fine. It was not particularly exciting. I don't think that they've done Stephanie Vaquer any favors during this world title run. There's probably better people she could be working with. This is just kind of there. It's like, let's get to her versus Liv, where I think the audience is actually going to be engaged. There's no emotional connection to Stephanie Vaquer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a lot of emotional connections with obviously with Rhea. We saw it with Lyra Valkyria. The crowd got behind Lyra. The crowd kind of got behind Maxine. They are not behind Stephanie Vaquer. And it's not due to a lack of talent, by the way.
Not at all.
Sebastian Howard suggests that it may be that they like seeing her backside,
That could be it.
which I disagree with simply because there's a number of women that go out there that are dressed in a manner that if this was 15 years ago, not everybody is dressed like that on the roster. You go
Right.
back 20, 25 years ago, there was slightly more conservative ring gear than was wearing. Almost everybody is out there wearing next to nothing. I
Mhm.
mean, Lita for years she wore baggy pants, but you could see like the top of her thong, and it was like this is scandalous.
That was classic late '90s stuff right there. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't think that it's oh my god, look at look at her ass, like that's why she's going to be over. That worked for Stacy Keebler. I was there during that era. Like that was simple enough.
Yes.
We did it with Melina. In 2025, it's like we've seen that in the same way we've seen big tall guys. So just putting a big tall guy out there isn't a unique attraction.
No, I just don't think that the WWE's necessarily done their due diligence and put her in the right light throughout this title run. I think that's more of the issue
They
than
rushed
anything
it.
else.
You
They
know what it
rushed it.
feels like? It feels like when Gail Kim first debuted in WWE and they immediately put the world title on her. It's like, well, there's nowhere else to go.
Mhm.
And if Stephanie was an undeniable talent, and in a lot of ways she is, then yeah, her quick ascent to being world champion, sure, it feels like she should have been the women's intercontinental. There's so many women on the Raw roster that are above her in terms of the hierarchy that they're all going for the tag titles, like her versus Asuka, her versus Io, her versus Rhea, her versus Becky, her versus AJ, her versus Liv. All of these are the matches that you kind of want to see, and instead they're 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 putting her in what feels like the women's intercontinental level. Devin Dowling suggests that Hunter just likes her because her name is Stephanie. Um, no, I think one Stephanie in his life is way more than enough.
Well,
Way, way, way more than enough. Um, Main event. I'm sorry.
yes.
Did you have something else you wanted to
Well,
add
I was
into
just
the
gonna say
exciting women's world?
I was just gonna say that I do like that they protect Raquel Rodriguez, but she's also kind of on this like trying to build up her name kind of reputation right now, where it's just like you're putting her with Stephanie, who's also kind of in that same position, just in a different light. And so I don't think it's necessarily helping one another out because it's just kind of it's there, and then you're moving on to something else. It feels like so I think WWE needs to really hone in on building this women roster. I know you have a lot of them and they're super duper talented, but find and pick and choose your moments to make all of these women feel special in certain ways.
Agreed. Also, worth a quick shout out to JD McDonough. Hopefully, he gets well soon. That dude is awesome. Main event was
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul.
Hmm.
There was a moment during this match, and I tweeted it out somewhat as a joke, but somewhat honest. I forgot that Logan Paul was just a celebrity and not a guy on the roster
Yeah.
because he now just feels like, yeah, this is a dude who's an upper level wrestler on the roster and not a YouTube celebrity thing.
And do you think that's a good thing or is that bad?
I don't mind it because his whole shtick had been, all these guys that are come in here that are celebrities that want to play Jelly Roll or Bad Bunny or Travis Scott. Like I am here week in, week out, and I can hang. And it didn't feel like, oh man, this is a good Rey Mysterio match where he's working with a celebrity. I felt like this is a solid Rey Mysterio match with a
Yeah.
good story. He feels like that Logan belongs as part of the vision. I would argue in part Logan's star status elsewhere has certainly depleted. I don't think he's as big a name as he has been in the past year or two. But this was a very solid match with Rey Mysterio with some interesting storytelling decisions.
Yes, yes, Robert. I agree with you though. I think Logan Paul just he fits part of the roster, and I think he does elevate the vision in a unique manner that Seth Rollins necessarily didn't. So I think that's a good thing too. But yeah, so we get the Masked Man. He stifled Rey Mysterio's moment to kind of seize the opportunity, and Logan Paul gets the win. And then CM Punk comes out, but then we get the unmasking. And sure enough, can you believe this? I would have never guessed that it was Austin Theory to be the Miz.
I'm truly shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I was absolutely floored. Did not see that coming
No,
whatsoever.
nope.
That was such a strange. Like, it was so weird to see Kyle Fletcher under that mask.
I thought it was Gabe Kidd.
There's something about the way that the way that Austin Theory looked. It was as if he was about to cry, and it just didn't work.
He looked like the meme, the Miz meme with the girl, the little girl Miz meme, where she's like angry.
Like, why are you angry? Why are you unmasking? Why didn't you just unmask in the beginning? Like, none of that made any sense whatsoever. It just kind of felt like, well, we need to reveal who this is. And I said all along, if they didn't immediately reveal it, it was either going to be a letdown, or there were going to be multiple masked men. And they were going to kind of restock the vision with some other folks. I know some people wanted to see Carmelo Hayes, some people wanted to see Montez Ford, some people wanted to see that spry young Chris Jericho. It just, I don't know. It was an ending, and then Braun Breaker attacking Punk when he wasn't supposed to attack him, and he was told not to, and fine.
Where does Austin Theory fit in the vision, though?
He's like a cataract. This is like the third or fourth Austin Theory push at this point. He was in a stable with Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy at one point.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Then there was the thing where he stole that gold egg.
Yeah.
From Vince's office, and that was a push. He beat John Cena. I liked A-Town Down Under. I thought that could have had a little bit of momentum. It felt like Miz and Morrison together.
Mm-hmm.
There was something a little bit to that. And now it's like, okay, now you're in the vision. Great. You're the fourth guy in the vision.
Right.
Braun Breaker is the dude going after the world title. Bronson Reed is the heavy. Logan Paul is the intercontinental level challenger. And then there's Austin Theory, who at best, maybe him and Bronson Reed become a tag team. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. It just seems exciting. Now what do we do after the fact?
Yeah. So we'll see what lies in store for Austin Theory, who, was the chosen one. And nothing ever goes wrong when you're labeled as the chosen one by Vince McMahon. Is there anything else, or are we good on that? I haven't looked at the run.
Well, we had
the
a
Foley
little.
Stuff.
Yeah. Do we want to cover? We can wait till tomorrow for that if you want.
We can touch on it briefly.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
You tee it up, man. You are the captain of the ship.
So Mick Foley posted this morning, made the announcement that he'll be leaving WWE after his contract expires in June. His Legends deal expires in June, for the reason that their involvement and ties to Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, WWE Hall of Famer. He thinks that they get a little too close and coddle a little bit too much, is what I believe he said in his statement here. And he also added too that he does not like what Trump had to say about the late Rob Reiner, who tragically was allegedly murdered by his son, and his wife was too. So Mick takes a stance and is going to be leaving WWE because of this. What do you think of this all, Robert?
It's not surprising. Mick has always been one of these guys when it comes to this level of conviction. He was one of those people who, when the Montreal Screwjob happened, that he was going to quit in solidarity with Bret Hart, and they were like, "Don't be stupid. Don't quit over this." He's under a contract with WWE, a Legends deal until June. It's kind of the put your money where your mouth is. He felt what Donald Trump had to say, the reprehensible comments he made about Rob Reiner, for him was this is a bridge too far, even for Mick, who's like, yeah, this company has been so intertwined with Donald Trump for so long. This was the straw that broke his back, and rather than just complaining about it and saying this is awful, but I'm going to still take, draw a paycheck and take money, I'm gonna sever ties and I'm gonna go. That's who he is. People are gonna say whatever they're gonna want to say about it, but Mick is making what he feels is the best decision for him. And at the same time, I think it's an easier decision to make, given that he does have other paths for revenue. Mick still does his comedy shows. He's still able to go do meet and greet appearances as Mick Foley, which is what people would necessarily want to see. So it's not quite the financial gamble as others might, but it's a symbolic move on his part and a symbolic move on your part. Can be showing up here live every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISHX account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, the at SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, Podcast Heat, and ad-free shows. So on behalf of Vince Russo's closest bro, Dominic D'Angelo, my name is Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Bro. Shh.